In a world that constantly preaches follow your dream, one man, ego, dares to challenge the status quo, asking a question many are too afraid to even consider. Are our ambitions truly aspirations, or are they just beautifully crafted delusions? So let's examine into ego's provocative perspective on ambitions. Hi guys, it's Yumi. So I've been watching Blue Lock. It's an intense soccer anime that's really more than just about the sport. It's a deep dive into human psyche, ambition, dreams, and what it truly means to win. And this quote by Ego really struck me.
この世界に必ず発生するただの現象だ。たとえ世界一のストライカーでも全戦全勝なんてのはありえない。なのに多くの凡人どもはこの絶望を正しく刻まない。ここ重要。自分に才能がなく非力だったと否定され、間違いを認めるのが怖いから無意識に言い逃れをするんだ。それは見事に無意識に。
まだ始まったばかりだ。そうだ、人生に試合終了なんてない。
今までの努力を無駄にしないためにも諦めないのが正解だと己を錯覚させる。必要なのはこの瞬間に己の非力を痛感できる強さ、絶望する才能だ。思い描いた夢の道筋を諦めることでしか見ることのできない道筋があり、それが新しい己の可能性となる。絶望してもなお戦わんとする人間に夢を叶える力は宿る。
It felt different. It's very bold, very provocative, thought-provoking. Could he be completely wrong? Or even worse, could there be a chance that he was right? So let us break that down. The first part is about understanding the reality of losing. To truly appreciate victory, one must first taste defeat. Sports, with its clear winners and losers, starkly showcase this reality. In Blue Lock, Ego is not dismissing the sting of a loss. He's highlighting its inevitability. Every athlete, no matter how talented or how driven, will face setbacks. Yet, where most motivational philosophies focus on the nobility of participation and the virtue of simply trying your best, Ego confronts us with a harsher, perhaps more pragmatic perspective. Trying one's best is crucial, but it's not enough. In a world defined by razor-thin margins of victory, coming close isn't celebrated, it's mourned. Scoring one less goal than the other team doesn't mean that you almost did as good as them. The brutal truth is that you lost. Ego's philosophy requires us to confront this painful truth. You just lost. You need to face that you were not good enough, that you need to ask why. Ergo argues that chasing a dream while being comfortable with losing is pointless. The idea of persistence, of chasing one's dreams despite of all odds, despite losing, is romanticized in inspirational talks. But Ego, with his concept of dream doping, introduced a shadow to this sunny narrative. He suggests that sometimes the act of simply routinely doing what you've been doing in the name of never giving up becomes a safety blanket, a way for individuals to avoid confronting their inadequacies. Oh my gosh, truth hurts. So, by convincing ourselves that simply chasing the dream is noble, that it's good, they shield themselves from the harsher truths. Maybe they're not good enough. Maybe they're not adapting. Maybe they need to change something. Ego's perspective isn't dismissing effort. Instead, he's challenging the motive behind it. It's one thing to try our best and recognize where it falls short. It's another to simply carelessly try and be content with just that, without the hunger to improve, to evolve, and to eventually triumph. To succeed, a loss is not something that you should just brush off. You need to feel the weight of that crushing defeat. You need that wake-up call. You need to admit to yourself that something isn't working. Because only by engraving this despair in your heart, you can improve yourself.
その武器を磨いて伸ばせ、突出させろ。才能という熱い原石は磨かなければ自己満足のゴミと化す。
Now he went to talk about the ghosts of broken dreams.
今までの努力を無駄にしないためにも諦めないのが正解だと己を錯覚させる。夢のドーピングと呼ぶ。叶えるためにあったはずの夢がいつの間にか追うことが目的にすり替わる。そうやって己をごまかし続ける。夢の亡霊になったゴミに俺は1ミリも興味はない。夢は叶えるために生きなきゃ意味がない。
The imagery of ghosts is haunting and most importantly, intangible. Ego's metaphor of people turning into ghosts of their own broken dreams paint a poignant picture of individuals who once had solid, fiery aspirations but have since then been reduced to mere whips, aimlessly wandering the realm of what could have been. These ghosts represent those who once had the burning drive to achieve them, but somewhere along the way, whether due to external setbacks, internal self-doubt, or the seductive comfort of mediocrity, their dreams lost their clarity and substance. They didn't dissolve entirely. Instead, they transformed into hollow versions of their former selves. But what's even more tragic than the dream becoming intangible is the dreamer's attitude towards it. These individuals, as Ego suggested, might still be chasing these ghostly dreams. However, the chase is no longer fueled by hope and conviction, but rather by a combination of denial and nostalgia. They cling to their past aspirations, using them as shields against the harsh reality of their present inadequacies. When he states that there's no point if a dream isn't there to make it come true, Ego is emphasizing the transformative power of dreams. In essence, Ego challenges us to ask, are we active dreamers, shaping our destiny with every decision? Or are we just ghosts, tethered to the past and trapped in the shadows of our own unfulfilled aspirations? Food for thought. Now let's talk about the crossroad of failure. As what we've touched earlier, despair is a necessity in becoming better. Instead of seeing failure as a dead end, Ego views it as a crossroad, a pivotal moment that can lead to profound transformation. I really like this imagery, a crossroad, This crossroad is essentially the intersection between aspirations and reality. It's a juncture that demands introspection. Why did I fail? What could have I done differently? It's an opportunity to dissect the dream, understand its anatomy, and diagnose the reasons behind the fall. Only by genuinely understanding the nature of our setbacks can we begin to move forward. A crossroad by nature offers multiple paths. Similarly, in the wake of failure, one faces multiple choices. The easiest is to simply abandon the journey. It didn't work out, taking the failure as a sign that the dream wasn't meant to be. Another is to take the same road, hoping that persistence will lead to a different result without really changing anything. Just need to do it more. But there is a third, the path of evolution, where one takes the lessons of failure and carves out a new trajectory, armed with wisdom of past mistakes. In Blue Lock, Isagi, from the outset, struggled with the paralyzing fear of making mistakes. It was this fear that led him to pass the ball at crucial moments to his teammates instead of taking the shot for himself.
こっちドフリー
多田ちゃんパスだしょ1点そうだサッカーは11人でやるスポーツだこれで同点
He didn't want to make the risk to take the goal, resulting in a team's loss. However, within the training ground of Blue Lock, every failure, every missed goals, every botched pass became a lesson. Instead of succumbing to his failures, Isagi learned from them. The very fear that held him back was transformed into a driving force, pushing him to hone his skills and refine his strategies, in embracing his failures and obsessing on why did he fail and what exactly need to be changed.
教えてくれ。俺はなんでお前に負けた？
Izaki discovered not just his potential as a striker, but his identity as a player. Now let's talk about Baro, the guy who inspired this whole discussion about despair. He started off as a prodigy, a naturally gifted player, but was soon confronted with the hard truth that natural talent alone wouldn't suffice in Blue Lock. When he faced with players who matched him or even surpass him in his skill levels, the initial setbacks rattled him. It almost destroyed him. However, Baro has what Ego called as this talent of despair, where a setback shocks him to his core. And instead of simply accepting it and saying, yeah, well, it's okay, I tried, at least I tried, good enough. No, Baro's setback became this huge, powerful drive to become better that ultimately becomes a stepping stone to elevate his game. His failures become lessons, teaching him humility and the importance of persistence. In Ego's philosophy, failure isn't the antithesis of success, but a part of the journey towards it. It's not about the fall, but how one rises after it, how one uses the failure. Izaki, Baro, through their respective journeys, exemplify this belief. Each setback, each moment of despair was a crossroad where they could have chosen to give up or press forward. And choosing the latter, they didn't just become better soccer players, they become symbols of perseverance and determination. Who knew that I could talk so much about soccer, you know? But guys, Ego's perspective isn't perfect. Let's talk about the criticism. His perspective has a lot of merit, yes, but how realistic is this worldview? What implication that is carried for dreamers in real life? Firstly, is that in reality, we need to face it, is that there is always the inevitability of failure. I guess the truth is not everyone will reach the pinnacle they aspire to. The global stage is huge, competition is tough. There are so many talented people out there, making the journey to the top treacherous and uncertain. It's simply unrealistic to say that everyone has the opportunity to reach their dreams, and it hurts me to say that. But the nature of our world is that perhaps many dreams will be unfulfilled. Secondly, I would argue that dreams for the sake of pursuit is not necessarily wrong. Ego's assertion that some dreams exist merely to be chased can be controversial. I do believe that dreams aren't just about the endpoint, but also the journey. The relentless chase, the hurdles faced, the personal growth. These are as integral as the dream itself. To dismiss the value of this pursuit is to undermine the transformative power of hard work and aspirations. So, what do you think, guys? Do you agree with Ego? In dissecting Ego's philosophy, one confronts with the complex interplay between ambition and reality. While his words provide a stark, even cynical view of dreams, they challenge us to introspect, to look into ourselves on the true meaning of value of our aspirations. So that's it today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like and comment on what you think about Ego's perspective. Or if you have any thoughts about Blue Lock, feel free to share it with me. And if you're new here, please subscribe to my channel. I have some exciting anime and character analysis coming up. Thank you and see you next time. Bye bye.